cannot be everywhere and have everything. Learn to make the right choices and commit to things that matter most. There's only one thing more precious than our time, and that's who we spend it on. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The greatest danger for most of us lies not in setting our aim too high and falling short, but in setting our aim too low and achieving our mark. Keep your distance from people who will never admit they're wrong and always try to make you feel like it's all your fault. There's no shame in saying, I don't know. Nobody has all the answers. Pretending to be perfect doesn't make you perfect. You learn a lot about people when they don't get what they want. If you can't say no, then your yes means nothing. True success doesn't depend on seeking validation from others. It's stepping into seizing opportunities, proving what you're capable of, and accomplishing your goals despite challenges. Stop being so available to people who are only there for you when it's convenient for them. It's not the load that breaks you down, but how you carry it. Dreams come in sizes that are too big so we can grow into them. Sometimes painful things can teach us lessons that we didn't think we needed to know. Being true to yourself may lead to loneliness, but it's worth it. The energy we spend to complain can be redirected to act for change. When we take responsibility, we get out of the victim mode and move on. What you want requires consistency and discipline. Don't blame people for disappointing you. Blame yourself for expecting too much from them. Luck comes to those who work hard. Good things do not come to those who wait. There can be no progress, no achievement without sacrifice, and a man's worldly success will be in the measure that he sacrifices. You are the only person you can control. Unless you try to do something beyond what you have already mastered, you will never grow. The easiest way to destroy your self-confidence is to constantly break the promises you make to yourself. Mistakes won't hold you back. Not learning from them will. Patience is when you're supposed to be mad, but you choose to understand. Worrying about something isn't going to change the outcome. It's only going to waste time and energy that could be better used somewhere else. Just because the boat rocks doesn't mean it's time to jump overboard. True growth is rarely accompanied by joy and celebration. First, you choose a partner on the basis of their looks, and enjoy until you realize that your kids will not be raised by their looks, but by their values. Who you are becoming is more important than who you've been. Don't be afraid to go it alone. The road to success is rarely crowded. The second you feel like you're hanging on by a thread, let go. You shouldn't be holding on to something that makes you feel that way in the first place. Going back to your ex is like having a shower and putting dirty underwear back on. Train yourself to take nothing personally, to save yourself from 99% of mental problems. It's normal to feel bad after making the right decision. Never make someone a priority who only makes you an op. There are far, far better things ahead than any we leave behind. The most harmful thing is wanting to avoid mistakes. As long as the word remains unspoken, you are its master. Once you utter it, you are its slave. Act as if what you do makes a difference. It does. The longer we dwell on our misfortunes, the greater is their power to harm us. Only two things we'll regret on deathbed: that we are a little loved, a little traveled. Care about what other people think, and you will always be their prisoner. Eventually, all things fall into place. Until then, laugh at the confusion, live for the moments, and know everything happens for a reason. The problems are solved not by giving new information, but by arranging what we have known for long. He will win who knows when to fight and when not to fight. Happiness is nothing more than good health and a bad memory. Except for our own thoughts, there is nothing absolutely in our power. Don't tell your friend what your enemy shouldn't know. One day, in retrospect, the years of struggle will strike you as the most beautiful. You are lonely, not because no one needs you, but because you care about who is next to you. Those who aim at great deeds must also suffer greatly. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everyone will respect you. Why should you feel anger at the world, as if the world would notice? We should try to be the parents of our future rather than the offspring of our past. The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. Keep away from people who try to belittle your ambitions. Small people always do that, but the really great make you feel that you, too, can become great. Only time can heal what reason cannot. To give out someone else's secret is betrayal. To give out yours is stupidity. We take greater pains to persuade others that we are happy and endeavoring to think so ourselves. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. While we are postponing, life speeds by. The real man smiles in trouble, gathers strength from distress, and grows brave by reflection. Conquer yourself rather than the world. The busier we are, the more acutely we feel that we live, the more conscious we are of life. Kind words don't cost much, yet they accomplish much. Always go too far, because that's where you'll find the truth. Without effort and willingness to experience pain and anxiety, nobody grows. In fact, nobody achieves anything worth achieving. Adventures are never fun while you're having them. I don't feel that it is necessary to know exactly what I am. The main interest in life and work is to become someone else that you were not in the beginning. The real question of life after death isn't whether or not it exists, but even if it does, what problem this really solves. If you own something you cannot give away, then you don't own it. It owns you.
Wow.
Where your fear is, there is your task. You desire to know the art of living, my friend. It is contained in one phrase. Make use of suffering. The man who has no inner life is the slave of his surroundings. Divide each difficulty into as many parts as is feasible and necessary to resolve it. To remain in the past means to be dead. My friend is he who will tell me my faults in private. No evil propensity of the human heart is so powerful that it may not be subdued by discipline. No man ever threw away life while it was worth keeping. Unexpressed emotions will never die. They are buried alive and will come forth later in uglier ways. Do not complain about growing old. It is a privilege denied to many.
Jesus.
To perceive the world differently, we must be willing to change our belief system. Let the past slip away, expand our sense of now, and dissolve the fear in our minds. To be wronged is nothing unless you continue to remember it. In taking revenge, a man is but even with his enemy, but in passing it over, he is superior. In the midst of chaos, there is also opportunity. A wise man will make more opportunities than he finds. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. If you are depressed, you are living in the past. If you are anxious, you are living in the future. If you are at peace, you are living in the present. To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. When it is dark enough, you can see the stars. We are our choices. The only way to keep your health is to eat what you don't want, drink what you don't like, and do what you'd rather not. We live only now. Everything else is either past or is unknown. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. Stop allowing your mind to be a slave, to be jerked about by selfish impulses, to kick against fate in the present, and to mistrust the future. It is not so much our friends' help that helps us, as the confidence of their help. Be silent, or let thy words be worth more than silence. Respond to critiques with accomplishments. From the point of view of youth, life is an endless future. From the point of view of old age, it is a very short past. An intelligent person always hides three things about himself: his weaknesses, his sources of wisdom, and his true aspirations. When we lose one blessing, another is often most unexpectedly given in its place. Depression is like a woman in black. If she turns up, don't shoo her away. Invite her in, offer her a seat. Treat her like a guest and listen to what she wants to say. Just improve yourself. That is the only thing you can do to better the world. Everywhere, man blames nature and fate. Yet his fate is mostly but the echo of his character and passion, his mistakes and his weaknesses. Life is a series of collisions with the future. It is not the sum of what we have done, but what we yearn to be. Money is a great servant, but a bad master. People who know little are usually great talkers, while men who know much say little. Always do what you are afraid to do. There is never any need to get worked up or to trouble your soul about things you can't control. These things are not asking to be judged by you. Leave them alone. Things never happen the same way twice. Anger, if not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. There is only one way to happiness, and that is to cease worrying about things which are beyond the power of our will. Man conquers the world by conquering himself. You should be careful not to form a very favorable opinion about a person at first acquaintance. Otherwise, in most cases, you will have to be disappointed. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. Happiness is the only thing that doubles when we share it. Whoever attaches a lot of value to the opinions of others pays them too much honor. If we suspect that a man is lying, we should pretend to believe him, for then he becomes bold and assured, lies more vigorously, and is unmasked. Prayers do not change the world, but prayers change people.
Okay.
And people change